Hello.
So everybody, good evening and welcome y'all to the Davis organization. I call it Agents of Change. I'm Shauna Stevenson, Get 2.5 member, and I have a packed presentation for you tonight. So I'm going to get right to it. I'm not going to waste a lot of time on myself. I'm going to get right to it. So as many of you know, February is Heart Health Month, and tonight we're going to explore Herbalife's outstanding, I call them life heart health products. So don't forget to pop your questions in the chat, as I was saying, and I'll make sure we get an answer for you. Okay, so here it is. Everything you need to know on pages 30 to 36 product catalog, right there it is, right? I mean, you guys go to training, the CS product trainings, and take lots of notes on the product section, right? So wait, let's see. Try still on here. Okay, I got my what? Oh, my husband's interrupting me as I'm doing my presentation. Okay, so Tri-Shield. So my catalog 31. Krill sourced omega-3s. The proprietary blend is formulated with omega-3 fatty acids from krill oil, which supports cardiovascular health. All right, I'm ready to sell this booger, right? Well, let's do a little digging. Do some digging. All right. Ta-da! Let's line up. There's 6 individual products formulated in the industry, and these products are literally, like I said before, life-changing and life-saving supplements. You know, we're all wellness coaches, and if we don't know what krill oil is, what makes us think our customer does? So they're just flipping through the catalog like we would and reading krill source omega-3s. Let's dig into this. So one thing I want to point out on here before we get started is if you look at these beautiful products on here, in Herbalife, we get paid by volume points. And you can see there 90 volume points on Nightworks, etc. So how many sales for those of us that are in nutrition clubs do we have to do to make that up in a nutrition club? So it's just kind of food for thought. So as I said, these products are world-class, top shelf, and we need to have the confidence that we represent the best in class nutritional supplements and highest quality on the planet. So confidence. This slide here highlights some of the very best of the best in nutritional science, and they work for us. And I'm going to take a moment and focus on our guy, Dr. Lou Ignarro. Okay, so check this out, Dr. Ignarro. So Dr. Ignarro is a PhD and a member of our Nutrition and Scientific Advisory Board here with Herbalife. And there's a lot of accolades on here that's probably not even on here, but I want to just highlight a few of them. Dr. Ignarro got his PhD in pharmacology back in 1966. And he was a distinguished professor of pharmacology at the UCLA School of Medicine's Department of Molecular and Medical Pharmacology in LA in the 80s. And he was inducted into the National Academy of Science in the 90s, into the American Academy of Arts and Science in late 99. And he also is the founder of the Nitric Oxide Society and also the founder of the Nitric Oxide Biology and Chemistry group, or etc. And then the big doggy dog is he is a Nobel Prize winner in physiology or medicine in 1998. And he received that for his discovery of nitric oxide and its range of benefits to the human body. So let's see if I can do this. Let's check this out real quick. Uh-oh, hold on, I'm coming. You guys hear that?
John, concerning nitrous as a signaling vascular system, not only is playing the working.
Hey, Shauna, there's a lot of feedback on that.
Okay, let's see. How's that? I guess it's because everybody's talking. Let's see.
Also opened new avenues for.
Hey, if anybody's got their mic on, I
I've
don't
got
know.
everybody muted, Shauna. If you want to send it to me, I can pull it up from my computer.
We'll just move on from this. Sorry about that. But anyways, what this is showing, I don't know why there's still a big feedback, but it's kind of interesting.
Is Anthony near you? Because it could be feedback from his.
He's way in the other room. Hold
I'm muted. I think she's got, her mic may have started working again.
on. Muted.
Gotcha.
Okay. Is everybody, I don't know who's controlling this Wizard of Oz thing here, but I'm just doing the presentation. But there's still a really big, I don't know. I wasn't doing that earlier. That's kind of him.
Well, there too now.
Sorry, guys.
No problem.
I am turned off everywhere, so I can't remember.
Can you maybe try to talk from Anthony's computer? Because he sounds clear. No problem, guys. While Shauna's getting this fixed, why don't you guys, if you have, because heart health is such an interesting topic, right? Especially in February where we have so much going on with heart and health and all that fun stuff. So guys, just as a reminder, if you drop questions into the chat about heart health, about anything that we're talking about tonight, you actually in for a chance to win giveaways when we do our drawings. So make sure that you know how to do that down in the chat. We'll make sure we get those questions answered. You ready, Shauna?
I am here. Can you guys hear me?
Yep, that's fine.
Okay. This is really weird because I'm on Anthony's thing and I've done a lot of work on this thing, so I'm gonna be out of whack, but we're gonna make it happen. So there's a cool video on there that I was trying to show you of the significance of Dr. Ignarro getting that Nobel Prize, and it's a big deal. So Anthony, if you can change slides, please. Can you got it?
No, I did it.
So guys, as they're switching that over, one of my favorite things about Lou Ignarro, who she was just talking about with his Nobel laureate and his research behind what nitric oxide does for our system, guys, a lot of the information that Shauna's giving us today is that's great information for you to have the confidence behind the products. We don't always talk to every client about this, but you definitely want to have this information so you have the confidence behind it.
Absolutely, Taryn. Thank you for that. And thank you guys for being patient with me. But the point of this whole thing is, again, it wasn't supposed to be this long and drawn out, but it is a big deal. The Nobel Prize is a big deal. And Dr. Ignarro is among many distinguished recipients, as you can see here. And this award goes back to the late 1890s. There's 5 different awards that are given out every day. Every year. And as you can see, there's distinguished doctors who found a cure for malaria, discovery of insulin, discovery of penicillin. And there's our very own little Dr. Lou down there in this wonderful category of these recipients. And to keep that in perspective, approximately 1.5 million doctors, I did a little Google search, in the United States currently, and there's only ever been 219 people receive this, and this is over a 100-year span. And that's not even counting worldwide the amount of doctors and pharmacists that are in there. So what gratitude we should have that we have our heart health products are created and endorsed by one of the world's leading experts in the health of our cardiovascular system. So Anthony, with that, if you can change it. Okay, so ta-da, our Nobel Prize winning product is Niteworks. So why is this so great? And we were going to listen at that point to Dr. Ignarro. He's got a great little video in there, but we're going to pass that up. But good news for you. Next slide, Anthony. I recapped it for you. So Dr. Ignaro was telling on that video that nitric oxide, it prevents blood clotting and it can help prevent strokes and heart attacks. And it was discovered that it was made by the amino acids L-arginine and L-citrulline. And the more of that you have in your blood, the more nitric oxide your body makes. So Dr. Ignaro was talking about how clinical doctors, they began to examine patients with things like high blood pressure and cardiovascular problems, et cetera. And those results showed that they suffered from a deficiency, a marked deficiency in L-arginine and citrulline and nitric oxide production. And so the net is that sufficient nitric oxide production in the body significantly reduces your risk for these above chronic diseases. So next slide, Ant. So this slide shows the details of our products straight from the website and the label. Again, if you note from the slide before, Dr. Ignaro talked about the L-arginine and L-citrulline. Ta-da, it's in this product because it supports the nitric oxide production in the body and blood flow for healthy function of the heart and brain, etc. And it's an excellent source, I'd like to point out, of folic acid to support the healthy cardiovascular system. And it also contains the amino acid L-taurine, lemon balm extract, and alpha lipoic acid. Next slide. So here is my famous little glossary here that I wanted to point out to these ingredients. Because what would happen is I'd look at the labels and I say, wonder why that's in there and what's in here. Because I have clients that are saying all these onesie twosie things, and I look at our products and it's got these things in there. So quickly, I just want to point out, highlight the alpha lipoic acid. It's a huge, powerful antioxidant, which you'll hear more about later as we go along in these series of calls. But also folic acid. It is in there to help with conditions such as heart disease. So there's reasons these things are put into the products. Next slide, Anthony. All right, L-taurine, the amino acid there, just to kind of quickly go over it. Some people take it as a medicine to treat congestive heart failure and high blood pressure, and obviously many other things pertaining to the heart, as you can see there. And maybe a little surprise, maybe I didn't even really realize it was in there because, you know, we used Nightworks way before Prepare came out, right? Veterans. But the lemon balm extract, it's a herb, a perennial herb from the mint family. And many people believe it has some calming effects. And it also can help to treat high blood pressure. And this product is also in our relaxation tea. But just think about these things as why are they in our products? And if people are asking for certain things that may, like L-taurine supplements. I mean, I hear people just going for that. So next slide. All right, so the next product I want to highlight is Herbal Lifeline. Herbal Lifeline is a highly refined omega-3 fatty acid. And one of the things I wanted to point out here is if you notice I have Lifeline there in a little red rectangle. Did you ever wonder why that they called it Herbal Lifeline and not just fish oil? I did. I kind of just call it fish oil, but I think you'll see why as we move on where the word lifeline comes in. So little guys here saying, wait, why do I need these little omega-3s? Well, Dr. Heber, he has some awesome little videos that he does 1 minute little videos on Instagram. And he did one on fish oil. And Anthony, if you can change the next slide. Luckily, I recapped it. So Dr. Heber talked about the importance of omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acids. He says our typical diet has way too many of these omega-6 fatty acids in our diet. And these omega-6s, they're found in vegetable oils like corn and cottonseed oil, and they're hidden in all the junk food that tastes good, but we shouldn't have, like French fries, cakes, and cookies. And these omega-6 fatty acids are converted into smaller compounds which stimulate or promote inflammation in the body. However, omega-3 fatty acids, they compete with these omega-6s for that same series of enzymes, but these compounds, they make our anti-inflammatory to the body. So we need a balance of both of these two pathways, which we can achieve by helping cut down on those processed foods and taking the fish oil supplements to help increase those omega-3s in our body. And just a quick note, omega-9 fatty acids in there, like in avocado oil and olive oil, they do not affect the balance of the omega-3s and 6s in the body. Next slide. So let's do a little digging on inflammation and why it's important. We just heard how the omega-6 promotes the inflammation in the body, and let's talk about that negative impact. So inflammation refers to the body's process of fighting against things that harm it, like infections and injuries and toxins, in an attempt to heal itself. And when something damages your cells, your body releases these chemicals that trigger a response from our immune system. And this response includes the release of antibodies and proteins, as well as increases blood flow to that damaged area. And usually that whole process only lasts a few hours or days in the case of acute inflammation. But chronic inflammation, it happens when this response lingers, leaving your body in a constant state of alert. So over time, that can have a very negative effect on your tissues and organs, and can also play a role in a range of conditions from cancer, heart disease, arthritis, etc., what you see down there. And chronic inflammation can eventually start damaging healthy cells, tissues, and organs, and over time lead to DNA damage, tissue death, and internal scarring. Next slide. Keep pushing it, Anthony. Couple more. Keep going. So this is a slide that I did several years ago, about 7 years ago, I put together. Hit it one more time, Anthony. And it's something that I put together after I read Dr. Heber's book on What Color is Your Diet. And it was at this time that I first really got the big connection of the importance of managing inflammation in the body. And just a quick story. So some of you veterans may remember this. Dr. Luigi, it was probably 7 or more years ago now at an extravaganza. And I'll never forget when he was up there, he was training us on product nutrition or science, something along those lines. And he said that he took like 16 fish oils a day. And I was like, whoa. Obviously we coach our clients to the label, but it kind of put a light bulb in my head. And I think now I understand the significance of that statement and how big of a health benefit omega-3s are to our health. It's just phenomenal. And so on this slide, again, it's just showing how the reduction, omega-3s reduce inflammation. But one of the things I wanted to point out is if you look there where you can find it in fish, flaxseed, borage oil, etc., grass and algae. And so the fish we eat, fish eat the algae, and then those fish store those healthy fats, and then we eat those we eat the fish, and we store those healthy fats. So we literally are what we eat, right? But also the same holds true for grazing animals that consume, such as cows. Like, so that's why grass-fed cows are better for us, because they're higher in omega-3s, and then the 6s again promote the inflammation, and that's found in the corn and the wheat. So Anthony, go ahead. One more time. So Herbal Lifeline, DHA and EPA, it says right there on the label, Herbal Lifeline with omega-3 fatty acids, EPA and DHA. What is that? Dr. Heber does a quick little 1-minute video on Instagram. That's awesome. Anthony, if you can change the slide. So to recap his little video there, you can see this little breakout of the 3 fatty acid categories of DHA, EPA, and ALA. But fish oil supplements provide your body with 2 of these important fatty acids that have benefits for your heart and brain health, which is the EPA and DHA, and that is short for some way long word that I could never pronounce. And then I just wanted to point out, note that there are options for vegetarians and vegans that you have. There's 2 bullet points on there that kind of help out with that. You may get that question sometimes. But DHA benefits brain health and EPA benefits heart health. And to maximize benefits from fish oil, we got, again, this sounds familiar, we reduce those hidden fats from the omega-6s so that it's not counteracting or working against those good healthy fats, omega-3s, to help with that inflammation. Anthony, next. So here's a product slide for Herbal Lifeline. And again, as you can see, we talked about what those are, and it's a highly refined marine lipid with those high quality omega-3 fatty acids, EPA and DHA. And note that up to 30% of our daily caloric intake should consist of these healthy fats. That's going to help maintain our healthy cholesterol and triglycerides. But notice it also coincides with our Herbalife balanced nutrition philosophy, right? 30% fats. Next. Okay, a little bit of homework here. If you just watch this video on myherbalife.com, they just put out a bunch of new videos, and I always love it when they do. It's a 5-minute video on Herbal Lifeline and your omega-3s, highlighting that. And one thing I want to point out right now before I go on is that Herbalife recommends that we get 1,000 milligrams of DHA and EPA a day, and that'll come in here in a second. Anthony, next. Now I'm going to read this all to you. No, I'm just kidding. But here's my glossary page for this. And I just wanted to point out the significance of this full page glossary call out. These omega-3 fatty acids are a big deal, like Dr. Ignara, okay? They're a big deal, and they're such a big deal, literally, I could cry. And okay, I probably have, but I'll digress. Next slide. So let's stop and take a minute to surmise, if you will, why this great company of ours called this product Herbal Lifeline. So I have highlighted some of the major benefits of omega-3s, but please read the glossary, and I'm serious, it'll amaze you, some of the great effects. But first one I want to point out is omega-3s help anxiety and depression. It says they can fight anxiety and depression, and interestingly, studies indicate that people who consume omega-3 fatty acids regularly are less likely to be depressed. And when people begin taking their symptoms improve. And it says that EPA appears to be the best at fighting depression. And one study even showed it as effective as a common antidepressant drugs. And now we don't claim to treat, cure, or diagnose anything here. Just wanted to state that out here. But not to get too personal about this, but I can honestly say, and I think Anthony would say it too, that this one product has served me has really saved my life as I know it today. And I'll just leave it there. So brain health, again, we talked about that a little bit. Omega-3 fatty acids helps brain health during pregnancy and early life, and accounts for 40% of the polyunsaturated fatty acids in our brain. It can reduce symptoms of ADHD in children, and several studies link higher intake to decrease age-related mental decline and a reduced risk of Alzheimer's disease. Great for eye health. It can improve eye health. DHA, again, is a major structural component of the retina of our eyes and accounts for 60% of that. And the last one I want to point out is omega-3 fatty acids in healthy weight can reduce symptoms of metabolic syndrome and all the things that go with that. So win-win-win all the way around. Next, Anthony. All right, some glossary highlights on DHA and EPA. Next. All right, so moving on to our next fabulous heart health product, TriShield Neptune Krill Oil. Notice it's not called krill oil, it's called TriShield, right? Kind of like we talked about. And this is a proprietary blend and is formulated with omega-3 fatty acids from Neptune Krill Oil, NKO for short. But NKO is a registered trademark of Neptune Technologies and Bioresources, and they use a proprietary process in extracting the oil from the krill. And I'm really glad that I looked this up, because I thought that Neptune Krill was actually the type of krill that it is, but it's actually the company. It's kind of like how we use Verisol, collagen, and Beauty Booster. It's the company there. So next, but those are krill pictures. So real quick, fish oil versus krill oil. Fish oil is derived from fatty fish such as ocean caught salmon, sardine, cod. That's actually the source you want to get it from, ocean caught. Krill oil is actually derived from tiny crustaceans called Antarctic krill. They're so cute. Fish oil is yellow in color, and krill oil is red because of this antioxidant that it contains, and you can pronounce it yourself, astaxanthin. That's the best I can do right there. And but one advantage of fish oil is that it's typically much cheaper and it's a lot more accessible. But some studies suggest that krill oil may be absorbed better than fish oil, and the fatty acids in krill are actually structurally different than fish oil and may impact the body in the way that the body uses them. Next slide. So here's some information to help guide you, and when you're selling this to your clients and getting these precious omega-3 fatty acids into them. So as you're looking at this, let's do a little comparison. So we got our Lifeline versus our TriShield here, and circling the omega-3 that are in there. So if you notice the fish oil, it's one soft gel delivers 336 milligrams, whereas the krill oil is delivering 45 milligrams. For one soft gel, you notice the price difference, as the previous slide indicated. It's easier to, more accessible, probably easier to extract. Which is why Neptune has that in their portfolio of their marketplace. But if we go back and look at this, remember what I said earlier about Herbalife said that we need 1,000. They suggest that we get 1,000 milligrams a day. And on that video, it actually says 2 to 3 Herbal Lifeline tablets per day. So this is actually a 60 count, but it does say on that video. And if you look at the 336, obviously it'd take 3 of them to get to 1,000. So it's very, very interesting. I think the Tri-Shield, it's my guess is it has the vitamin E with the krill oil and the omega-3s that are in it, why it's a threesome. But what my main thing I would say is I would sell Tri-Shield as a companion to Herbal Lifeline. Unless there's object is no money, you'd be taking a lot of different krill oils, but they're both wonderful products, and you can see for yourself. You know the importance of omega-3s, and just do whatever you can to get it in your system, in your customer system. Next. Okay, a little bit about Neptune krill. Next. All right, so let's change gears a little bit and talk about CoQ10. And so these bullet points here are from a video that I watched of Dr. Ignaros, because, you know, digging, see my little digger there. So I'm digging here. And in that video on CoQ10, Dr. Ignaros shared with us that it's vital for cellular energy production. And what is cellular energy production? He says there is tiny energy producing power plants in our cells that convert that food we eat and the air we breathe into fuels that power our cells. And in turn, they power us. So it's short for coenzyme Q10, which consists of 2 parts. It's a protein and a vitamin, and it's found in every single cell of our body. So it works like a vitamin, acting as a catalyst and convert fats and carbs into energy. And this is why it is found in the highest concentration in organs like the heart, which has high energy demands. So it's an effective antioxidant and helps regenerate other antioxidants like vitamin E. And as we age, unfortunately, levels in our body decline. And as a result, we lose energy because our cells cannot regenerate as easily and our body can't cope with stress as easily. And this makes the decline of CoQ10 one of the clearest signs of aging, he says. And in the video, he says it supports heart health age 40 and over. Next. So a product, here's our CoQ10 product details. Again, provides energy to the heart, protects the heart muscle from free radicals, and contains the essential fatty acid DHA. Fantastic, which helps support heart health. Again, the antioxidant activity of CoQ10 protects our cells from damaging effects of oxidative stress, and that's another important thing that one day we might talk about. And it also contains vitamin D and hawthorn fruit extract to support heart health. Next slide. A little label breakdown. It's not just called CoQ10, it's called CoQ10 plus vitamin D, plus DHA, and hawthorn fruit extract. And I just highlighted down there some of the highlights of hawthorn extract. It's a plant, and it's used for diseases of the heart and blood vessels, such as congenital heart failure, chest pain, etc. And you can read through that, and then you'll figure out why it's actually in CoQ10. But remember, it's not just CoQ10, it's CoQ10 plus. Next. Let's talk about some garlic, Mega Garlic Plus. What? Plus, see, you know, it's got to have a plus in it. So garlic supports healthy circulation and a healthy heart. Next. Little bit on the label, the plus, I surmise is because it also has vitamin C, calcium, and phosphorus in it as well. And there again is a little glossary shout out to awesome garlic. Next. And finally, last but not least, the granddaddy of them all, this contains Herbal Lifeline, Tri-Shield, CoQ10, and some plant sterols. And these are all packaged in one little convenient packet that you can take daily to help support your heart health. And we won't go through each one of these bullet points, but the plant sterols, they help support healthy cholesterol. And plant sterols are a group of substances that are made in plants, and they're taken by mouth to help lower cholesterol and help prevent heart disease and heart attacks. And side benefit, plant sterols, it says, are also used for weight loss. Next slide. Oh, good, Anthony. You see me flip. All right, so if you want to dig up more information, here's where you can get it. Again, myherbalife.com. There's 3 awesome videos on these products, give you some good details there. And of course, I highly recommend Dr. Ignaro's books that he has authored there that you see down there below. Next. And remember our beloved Jim Rohn, he said, we are affected by what we know. So get the information, don't be lazy in learning. And I don't think I can relate. Yep, absolutely. Thank you, Uncle Jim. So, and thank you guys for being patient. I am like on my living room floor out of whack here, fish out of water, fish oil out of water. But I do not want to end this call without giving a shout out to our Davis organization promos for February. And I know Tara posted today, everybody that's on track to get these, our mini water bottle promotion and all of our first quarter promotions there. Keep a check on your numbers, get with your sponsor and make sure that you're on track for these promotions. Next. And a couple little shout outs here, our weekly team information here. First of all, I want to give a big shout out and high five, yeah, thumbs up to all of our mid-month volume point leaderboard peeps. Awesome job there. And I also want to give a shout out to this Saturday we got coming up in Graham, North Carolina on the 22nd from 4 to 8 p.m. We have the North Carolina Blast. So just want to make everybody aware of that. And also, next slide. You definitely don't want to miss next Monday, which will not have as many problems as I did, I'm sure. Miss Millionaire team member Carrie Garzone, she's be giving us the goods on a 90-day plan. And so you don't want to miss that, guys. Thank you so much for understanding. I appreciate you guys. Thanks so much, and we will see you next time. Have a great night.